Hello people, in this lecture I will explain to you an important concept on SNet Core, that is data annotations. Data annotations are attributes applied to model properties to define validation rules, display formatting, and behaviors. They help enforce business rules and improve data integrity on both client side and server side. So let's create another new view model called user VM. A user has a name, but we always want a name for a user, so we use a dot annotation called required. You see, you have to import the namespace of data annotations. Here you can specify the error message of this required parameter and say name is required. Name is required, or you can do it better. You have multiple required properties. So you can open these brackets, and inside it, you can open the brackets here and say 0. So it will take the name of the property. So name is required. You can have a display name and say first name. So when you call the label for HTML helper, instead of the name of the property, it will search for the display name. So it will appear to the user the first name. You have a useful data annotation called string length. The first parameter is the maximum length. The second parameter, you can say minimum length and say like 3. A name must be bigger than 3 characters. And the error message. First name must be beside 3 and 15 characters. All right, let's start with that. Let's create a new controller called user controller. Let's add a view for, let's modify it for edit and add a view. Let's call it edit. This, the model of this view will be user VM, copy from the other lecture, and instead of sign up action, let's say edit, and the controller name will be the user. Let's just change all that, change it to null. So to validate on the server side this form, we have to, of course, create a post method. Let's create a post method, http post, edit, and there is an important helper in the controller called model state. And model state has so many properties, but the one that we want here is this is valid property. If the model state is not valid, we will return the view again. With my user VM, we will return my view with my user VM. If it's not, let's redirect the user to index of home. I forgot the keyword return here. Okay, let's see this in practice. Let's call slash user slash edit. Here, you'll see that the label of the input now is the display name. So if you see my VM, the display name now is the value of my label. Now let's submit it empty. Let's see it in the controller. What is the result? Submit it empty. Model state now is not valid because the name of the user must not be empty. Here you see, first name is required. If I put here like GU, let's submit it, is valid, false. First name must be inside, there is an D here, oh, forget it, 3 and 15 characters. You see how powerful this is? Now we don't have to force these rules on our database because the user will not pass this is valid if we specify it with data annotations. In the next lecture, I will teach you more data annotations that you can use on your daily work. So see you there.